Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to the markets. Hope everybody had a great weekend. And if you took yesterday off, hope you had a great 3-day weekend. Good morning, Max, Corey, Will, Greasy. How y'all doing? How's it going? Let's see here. I got a couple little things I got to mark right here real quick. Still doing my marking out my midnight opening and my 8:30 opening here real quick. And where are you? There we go. All right. Might be a little bit interesting today. And let's see here. 1 second. There's my 1 minute. Here we go. All right, let's jump to the weekly chart here real quick. As you can see, we're still making our way, slowly making our way down. I still have this weekly fair value gap down here. We've traded through it a couple times, have not inverted it. Still don't really have too much on the weekly. Just we are kind of finally coming down, like out of this area, this consolidation area up here, a lot of that up and down zone that we were in. We're finally coming down. We're not really out of it yet, but we are looking like we're trying to do something. So going to the daily chart now, so let's zoom out a little bit. Still back to what I was talking about the last few weeks. You know, we ran up here. We did make this break down, pulled back into this volume imbalance, and we are pushing down still. So I'm marking out, and I mark these swing levels here because we are moving that direction, and just in case, you know, if the market just goes down and I'm looking for targets, that's why I mark them, because these would be targets here. Then we have this fair value gap here. Right in here, we have a little fair value gap. So as we pulled up, it started coming down. We did leave this fair value gap, and we are continuing down. However, we took Friday's low here, which is last week's low as well. Because of that, I'm kind of wondering if we're going to try to make our way up into this fair value gap before continuing down, if we do, you know, continue this bearish move. So if we continue this bearish move, are we going to just go down into taking these swing lows, or since we took last week's low and what was Friday's low, are we going to look to make a move back into this fair value gap first and then go down? And then that's kind of just what I look at. If we do make our way back up here this week, you know, I don't think it'd be one day, but this week, once we get to this area, that's when I'm looking, okay, are we going to continue down, or are we going to go up and create an inversion and then look to go up? That's kind of how I look at this bigger picture. So for now, I'm still, you know, overall bearish. But let's see for the day. The 4 hour, I really didn't have too much. I have this big 4 hour fair value gap right here, which we already pulled into. Came down. We had a little 4 hour fair value gap right there, which we pulled into. Came down. So I really didn't have too much I was looking at on the 4 hour. The 1 hour, I did have this one. So we made this low, pulled up here into this fair value gap, displaced lower, leaving this big imbalance. We've already pulled up in there, but we haven't displaced any lower. So this is what I'm looking at here to see, are we going to, you know, kind of maybe run up and displace lower, or are we going to trade through this 1 hour fair value gap? So that's kind of my area of interest for the morning is right in here, this 700, 750 area. Are we going to be able to go up through that or not? The 15 minute, basically have my London range here. We have not taken this London high. With this 1 hour fair value gap, we have a 15-minute one there. Let me zoom out a little bit so we can see better. We still have this big imbalance here from that drop last week. Or was it a week? Yeah, last week here. We did run up here, so there is going to be some some buy side liquidity up here, which actually that's Friday's high. So we're going to have some buy side liquidity up there, but what I'm looking at the moment is if you look here, we did have some sell side liquidity all underneath here, and we had this run right down through it, and then coming back up. So this could be a bullish order block in here, although we did not displace up out of it. So that's what I'm noticing too. So because of that, I don't really have any like real external liquidity, like relative equal highs, relative equal lows. That's very, very obvious to me. So I'm looking at maybe this high here to see if we run that. If the market's open now. And then I have this low here, this sell side liquidity. There's really not much in between right now. And if I zoom out a little bit more, like I'm not really looking at areas of real smoothness that we have to go get. I mean, I do have, you know, if we get through this, basically that's what I'm looking at. If we get through this area, then I would be looking at, you know, here, maybe a little bit of smoothness here. And then if it keeps going up, back up to that Friday high. But not sold on it just yet. So I'd have to see what we do in here first. Because we could see it, if we're going to stay bearish, we could see it come back up, take this right here, then a market structure shift, and head down. That's possible. So I'm going to let the market kind of play out a little bit and show me what it wants to do. Let's check for the opening range gap here. Closed there. We just opened there. Opening range gap. So we're close to the midpoint. The midpoint of it overlaps, basically overlaps that the midpoint of that 1 hour fair value gap. So it's going to be interesting. We may see it. I want to see what happens if it hits that right there. If we're going to get a market structure shift and head down, or if we're going to continue up and try to take all those higher areas up there. So let's see. Let's see what we get. How's everybody doing? Hey, Chris, good morning. David. Max, good morning. Let's check out. Let me go to the 5 minutes. So I'm kind of looking at this range, this dealing range here for now. Pretty much where this is, like from here down to this low. Again, I really think this area is going to be a key area to see what it does from there. And let's see. Let me take this dealing range from here down to here, see what we're looking like. Equilibrium, we just ran up into the premium of that range. So, yeah. I really want to see if we can take out, hit this midpoint here and what happens there. That's what I'm really curious about. And that is going to be, let's see, that's about 7:30. 7:30. Now, let me refresh my chart here real quick. It looked a little funky. Chart looks funny. There we go. All right, now we're taking that area. Let's see what happens. Might just keep blasting off. We'll see. Good morning, Tony. Hey, yo. Good morning. Nightbot didn't like whatever caps you used. I'm going to make a video probably this evening about a bunch of Apex stuff. Y'all are seeing a lot of, maybe y'all are seeing a lot of social media stuff, a lot of other YouTube videos, YouTubers talking about Apex, these, MA rules, taking profits away, stuff like that. I'm going to make a video explaining it all. And I'm going to go into some detail about why it's, if you are a legit trader and like you're actually trying to trade and trying to build something and trying to do well, it is not a bad thing. And it's actually very fair, because what's unfair is the people like, manipulating with the rules and like basically trading the wrong way and trying to get payouts. Like, that's just not fair to everybody that's trying to do it the right way. So I actually very much like what's going on, and I'm going to make a video explaining a bunch of it. All right, so we traded up through this 1 hour fair value gap now. We have this fair value gap here. And because I was a little more, I wanted to see what we did in this area, but I was, for my trade, more bullish than bearish. Overall, I'm more bearish. But for my trade, so we have this midpoint, we have the opening range gap high, we have this 15-minute fair value gap, but I really think we're going to trade up through this Asia high here that I have marked. And I think we're going to trade through this 15-minute fair value gap and keep going, potentially. Or at least get up through this area. So what I want to do is, if we come back down to this fair value gap, I'm going to see if I get a confirmation. But if we don't, I want to see it trade all the way through this 15-minute fair value gap, this 843-ish area, before I get in. So it either needs to bounce down to here and see if I get a confirmation to take it up through about 825. However, if it goes through the 825 first, I don't want it. I'll wait until it gets even higher. It's kind of what I'm looking at. So I'm fairly confident we're going to get through 825. 824.25. But you got to be careful in case if it wants to close the opening range gap, stay in the lower half of this 15-minute fair value gap, and then just like really displace lower. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's what would stop me from not taking a long off of here. And depending on price action, if it gets really ugly in this area and it looks like it doesn't have the willingness to go higher, then I may skip it. We'll see. Still very early. It's only 9:39. Everybody have a good weekend. How was y'all's weekend? Anything fun, exciting? What did I do? We had a game. Saturday, so I spent a few hours doing that. Sunday, what did I do Sunday? We just went around, spent a little family time, going to some stores and whatnot. On Sunday, that was about it. Nice little weekend. Another cold weekend. Yeah, I know. It seems like even for us, it warms up during the week and then it gets cold on the weekend again. Yeah, y'all. So and speaking of Apex. I don't know. That sounded weird. Apex. Speaking of Apex, there's some exciting things coming out too soon. So I'm sure y'all have seen some of the things that's being posted and said on social media. So that's why I want to make the video, kind of addressing a lot of that, but also just knowing there's some nice and exciting things that's in the pipeline. There's very soon too, and they're gonna be rolling out. I don't know if some of y'all have seen some of that account dashboard. Some new products are gonna be coming out. There's a lot of stuff coming, and yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be really good. So of course, oh, you know what? For anybody that does use Apex accounts, I would definitely, gladly, highly appreciate it if you did use code WIN. It's a little shameless plug there. Did I put my... All right, you see how it's pretty much... See this little accumulation going on here? It's not quite coming back down. So it depends how it comes down. Right? If we get massive displacement down here, then I might be willing to skip it. But I do think... And look at the bodies. Look where the bodies are closing here. Right at that opening range gap high. Look at the wicks. I really don't think we stop just right there, but we'll see. We've got a little rebalance there. I still think we get through this 925. All right. We're in that 1 minute fair value gap, so I'm going to just watch here and see what it looks like. $760. See, right now, I'm not... Yeah, see how it's just going straight down through it. At the moment, there we go. We have an inversion. Let's go back to the 1 minute. That's what I was afraid. Oh, look at that. Refresh. Okay, that's what I was afraid of. Depending on how it came down. I wanted to make sure that didn't happen. Right there. Because now we have an inversion. Doesn't mean it's going to go down yet, but that's what I wanted to be cautious of. Right here. With how, what if it was going to keep going up, what I would have liked to have seen is it come up here, have a nice clean pullback, and just really spend not a lot of time and just go up. I didn't want to see this a little bit of accumulation, you can call it, or chop or whatever, right here. And then look at the bodies right at the opening range gap high and the wicks, boom, 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 and now coming down. So now you have an inversion here. And we're going to have we have a fair value gap right here. So I'm just kind of waiting too, because I mean, I'm more bearish, but at the moment, I don't have extremely strong targets, except for, like I said, I think we do eventually get down into this weekly fair value gap and those daily swing levels. But I want to make sure the time is right. And at the moment, this is going to be a bit of some sell side liquidity right here. Internal range liquidity. We have this, fair value gap here, of course, but we have some relative equal lows right there. We'll call that some minor sell side liquidity there. But see, here's the thing: we left. Got to be careful, because we're leaving on the 15-minute chart. Yeah, we have this wick, right? But now we're leaving some buy side liquidity up there. So you have to be careful, because right now we just pulled into this, because this series of down close candles is all an order block, and we basically pulled into that. I'm not convinced just yet we're going short. And if you look at the 5-minute, we still have, we rebalanced this 5-minute fair value gap. So just got to be a little cautious. Back to the 1-minute chart here. Right back to the midnight opening price. Now I'm more so inclined to believe we're going to go continue down. See if we get something in here. Nope. All right, we're about to approach 950. Let's see. I don't like how it came all the way down and we just left this up here. This could be a breakaway gap, so we'll see. Actually, that's a suspension block. Yeah. You have an imbalance there, an imbalance above it. Be a little suspension block there. And look how this wick right here hit it. I was wondering why that wick went right there. I didn't see this lower volume imbalance right there. Had I saw that, I might have went short. I did not see that volume bounce. Yeah, that could have been. Although I probably still wouldn't have went short there because I wasn't fully convinced yet. All right. Taking that minor sell side liquidity now, I think we head down to 518 and then into this weekly fair value gap at this point. So let's see if I can get a ride to it if the opportunity presents itself, or if we're going to do like last week and just go without me. What do you want to do, NQ? Do you want to give me a ride or not? All right. Now, don't go without me. Let's get an entry and let's be pretty smooth. So we got this fair value gap. Get rid of this. No imbalances there, so we're good. Let's see if it comes back up into this fair value gap. And if I can get a confirmation. Come on, pull back up a little bit. Ah, come on. You're going to get that close? Just get up there. Get up in there, NQ. Patience, patience. This high is 596.75, and it pulled back up to 594. 2 3/4 points away from pulling into that fair value gap. Might just go without me. And if it does, it is what it is. It got almost 3 points away from my entry. But hey, rules are rules. I got to stick to it. Just like last week, I had 2 days that it went without me. And it looks like today might do the same. We'll see. But so you gotta go by your rules. So like my rule is I have to have it come into the fair value gap, because if it doesn't and I look and I take it and I get in a few points early, that could be the difference between a win and a loss. Like really could. Because then if it shoots up and I don't get a confirmation, then I'm upset with myself. Like, oh man, there's not even a confirmation. It never touched it and I lost. Like, why did I do that? So gotta stick to the rules. We'll see if we get another one here though. But I hate taking these lowest fair value gaps to continue short, even though we have not went through the target. We have not hit the lower weekly fair value gap there either. But I will be faster if I do get an entry here to move to break even, because we never came back up to this one. That's if I get an entry. There we go. We went, we took sell side liquidity there. So we'll see. Although today I am more confident in lower targets. So I think we still have more room to go lower. But we'll see. I mean, it barely touched this suspension block up here. Did not touch this one. Did not touch this one. And we're just going down. So sometimes it works that way. You took a trade, Max, and 15 minutes. Oh, man. Yeah, technical issues. I hate that. That's the worst for me. I hate that because you could do everything right and a technical issue happen, and it's just, it's so frustrating. Yeah. Dang. Now I got to be careful since we took this low here, this sell side liquidity I had marked. If it pulls back, I just got to be careful on the pullbacks now because it could pull back to here, could pull back to here. I don't think it goes up though. Like I think we still, because like I said, today I do have stronger targets lower. I don't know. I mean, we've traded through this weekly fair value gap multiple times. So this might not, hold price. It may bounce around a little bit in it. But I think we are going to continue through it and head down to this 239.75 and then ultimately this 154. So we'll see. Yeah, Max, that's what you got to do. Oh, we hit that 15 or 1 minute fair value gap. So I want to look here and see what the market does. I'm not wanting to just jump right in right away, but I do want to see if I get a confirmation here. Because again, we still have this higher one up here. This higher SIBI. But if I get an entry, I may take it. Because I think we are just going to keep going down. And it is not yet 10 a.m. $502. Oh, see, that's like a 50-point stop right there. Man. All right, let's see here. I'm going short on this. I'm going right here to about this 448. See if I could take it down there. I'm going to break even now because, again, I'm being a little cautious on this being that low and we haven't hit that higher fair value gap. So if I get knocked out of this already, then I'm fine with it. So I'm at break even and I'm going to let it ride. And see if we get down. Because I don't know how the reaction is going to be right here at the... See, I got knocked out. I didn't like... Well, not that I didn't like. I didn't know how the reaction was going to be right there at that weekly fair value gap. And I just... Man, it's very hard for me to be real confident. Well, it's probably going to be real confident in this. It required a larger stop. And we haven't hit this one up here, which it might not. At this point, it might not. But it's just, to me, it was not my like A+ setup, not the highest probability. So I wanted to move to break even as fast as possible on that. And if it knocks me out, it knocks me out. So that one, it knocked me out. Now we have another little fair value gap right here. We just touched. Maybe I can have a smaller stop and try to see if it'll go down to that. Because I think we're going to get down here to this midpoint around 445. But I don't want to force it. And also, I like right here on this one that I took, I mean, really, it did require a fairly large stop. That's why I moved to break even really fast on that. Oh, my P&L is off again. Let's see. Sorry, I'm messing with my P&L thing right here real quick. All right. See, now if I get an entry, I don't like this long wick though, but yeah. Oh. Hit that. See, that's also why I wanted to move to break even pretty quick, because like I said, I think that I was under the impression that we've traded through this weekly fair value gap a few times already. If we are going to stay bearish and head down lower, we may like not trade straight through it, but get through it. But also there's the risk of it coming down into it and wanting, like, since we haven't hit this one up here, we kind of had this move down where it could just, you know, pull back more than what I want. So I'm fine with that. How did I check my copier here. Six. $89 times 4. Oh, okay. I had some random amounts there on my how much I made. I guess slippage worked in my favor a little bit on some of these accounts. I'll be looking. I might look to short up here if we get a confirmation up here and no like sibbies. I mean, I'm sorry, bissies that makes it look like we're going to head up. Because I still think we're going to go down. It's just that weekly fair value gap. Obviously, it's a weekly fair value gap. It's not going to just... I thought it might go into it and accumulate a little bit and then kind of like slowly make its way through it. But, I mean, it's a weekly fair value gap. It's not going to... It's going to be significant for sure. You have 10 minutes and we'll get a 15-minute Sibby. So as long as we don't pull back up to this 8:30 opening price. If it could stay, well, okay, so maybe I don't want it to pull up here then to this one. We'll see, we'll see. And look how, take note of the bodies here. Look at the bodies right at this midpoint of this fair value gap. No sibbies coming up. Or bissies, sorry. No bissies coming up. And, hey, Chris, been quiet today. What'd you take the same entry I took? That short right here? Yeah, that was, interesting. Okay. So, like I said, I do think we're going to come down. So I'm going to watch this right here. See if we get another sibby. Because I believe this bounce was just going into that weekly fair value gap. Look at the bodies right here respecting this 1 minute one. I didn't want to, after looking at the 15-minute chart, the reason why I said I don't want it to go up to this one anymore is because I want it to leave a 15-minute sibby. Because that gives me the confidence that it'll keep going. And basically we're looking at that right there. And we have this inversion, so I want to make sure. So let's see. I'm going to look at this 15-second chart to see if there's a confirmation. But you got to be careful because there's that inversion in case if it does want to be bullish. You have a volume imbalance right there. $521 to 46. Got about a 25-point stop on this one if I do get a confirmation. You got to be careful, though. So we're at this sell side liquidity. All right, let's see. See if I get a short here. Oh, look at that. Now that we've closed under this little change and save delivery here, I want to see if we hold under it. There hasn't been an entry confirmation, so it's going to be interesting to see if this right here holds up. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I'm going short here. My stop is at the 1 minute fair value gap. And I'm trying to head for my I'm going to 451 now. See if we get it this time. See if it's ready to go yet. Maybe, maybe not. Nope. Not ready. Not ready. Got a glare on my screen. Man, I'm confident it's going to go. It's just... All right. Going in it again, short here. I could be wrong, but let's see. Going to move to break even fairly quick on this one in case if it doesn't go. If it keeps hesitating here. Did everything get filled? Everything did get filled. Right here, if we can't take this low, I want to give it the opportunity, but you got to look at this. All right, I'm going to break even. Hopefully it doesn't reject. Hopefully it's not a rejection wick here. It could be. And if it is, that's going to be my last trade of the day. Yeah, look at that. Oh, man. You markets suck. All right, I'm done for the day. I'm done for the day. It's just... It's going, but it's not going. So, small loss on the day. All good. Yeah, see this rejection? That's what I wanted to make sure didn't happen right there. In the upper half of this wick, just stop and come back up. And this price action right now is something I don't want to really play in. So, took a couple shots. Didn't really pan out. But, hey, this is actually small losses here. Even though the P&L looks like what it is, it's only about $200 per account. So, 180 to 200. So, all good. I'm going to chalk this one up as a loss today. And actually, and you know, in hindsight, I still don't know if I would have taken it, but this right here where it tapped the suspension block right there might have been the move. Other than that, right here, got an entry and it stopped. It failed to like keep going, pulled back up higher, just kind of. Like I said, I think I still think it's going to go down, but it's just you either got to just hold your stop and have a decent sized stop, or you know, don't trade. I took a loss. On this second trade here, I took a loss. And then the third one, I had two break evens basically. And then that second trade, see, this one was in at 499, got out at 497 short, so a couple points. The second one was 503. No, where was it? Yeah, right here. 512, got out at 536. So took a loss right there. Yeah, that means you had a really big stop then, Chris, on that second one. If you didn't get knocked out, you would have had a 50+ point stop. Well, no. Let's see. I had a 25 point stop, so you would have had a. Because I put it at the 1 minute fair value gap. I didn't want to see it touch that again. So if you had it at this swing, that would have been 512. About a 35 point stop. Yeah, it's about 30. It had to be at least 35 points. But like I said, I put it at the, because I don't want to risk. For one, I don't want to risk that much. For two, once it had this change in state delivery down here, I didn't want to see it touch this 1 minute fair value gap again, and it did. So that's why I took the loss. And then this one, of course, this rejection wick right here, and now it's doing all of this stuff that it's doing. So, oh, I'm on the 15 second there. There we go. So that I'm out on. I don't want to take any more opportunities or any more trades. Because it's really rejecting on this weekly fair value gap. So we did get the 15-minute SIBI here. So it could pull back to that. Could pull back to that. And then from there, want to see what happens. And because we have this 15-minute SIBI, maybe it pulls right back up to here, touches this one, and continues down. Just have to see where it goes from there. This could be, so if this is a measuring gap, then you could kind of project where the market could go, which would be, I'd put it right there, which means this 404.75 there's a potential to go down to the 404.75 if you take this dealing range from this high, use the measuring gap as the midpoint if it becomes a measuring gap. That's why you don't really want to base everything on it, but you just can have an idea. Throw it on the midpoint here. And if this is going to be a measuring gap, then you still have a move down to 404.75. So now it's hit this 15-minute fair value gap. See if it hits this one. If it gets above all this, then continuing short would be out of play for me. There you go. From here, I'd be very curious to see where it goes. But that's also why I'm hesitant with these lower fair value gaps in here, especially after it takes the sell side liquidity. And then, like I said, I was thinking it'd probably dig a little deeper into this weekly fair value gap, but showing it didn't really want to. So from there, I'm pretty much out. Traded right up through this 15-minute. Rebalanced it completely already. Rebalanced this one. So, hey, we may be going up. We'll see. That weekly fair value gap market might not be ready to go below it yet. But yeah, that's why I moved to break even really quick. Took a loss on that one. It was only about a 20-something point. 12, 24, 34. It was a 22-point stop loss. I'm good with that. I can live with 22-point stops all day for my daily loss limit. And, yeah. 22-point stops. And then, a win's going to give me 40, 50, 60 points. We're looking at a really good RR there. So, yep. All good. At this point, it's probably going to keep going long. It never went up to that Asian high up here that I had. Those areas. Not saying it will, but hey, maybe it does. Maybe it does. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But I'm calling it a day because that's it for me. So let me double check the news for the week. See if there's... I already looked at that last week and it was all good for this week. So yeah, I'll be back on tomorrow. So hope everybody has a great rest of your day. And if you're going to keep trading, be patient. And as always, trade well, everybody. Look out for that video later this evening. All right. So I'll see y'all later. Take care.